Welcome to the May Mini Album a Month class here at 2Ps. This month we are going to focus on a mixed media album. And all a mixed medium album is an album that has more than one kind of insert in the album. Now, the first part of this has chipboard. They are all the same, but this particular clothesline album also comes with some cool acrylic pieces. Okay, so that's what makes it mixed. There's more than one kind of element in this album. So I'm going to set aside these chipboard pieces, and I'm going to set aside this square piece, and we're going to work with these first ones. The first thing and the easiest thing to do when you're working with these kinds of albums is that you want to start with the chipboard pieces. They are the easiest to work with. So you can use a glue stick to adhere these, or whatever strong adhesive you like to use. I'm just using a Hermafix. Now these pages are pre-cut, so this makes it very easy. You can also use a pencil or an X-Acto knife and cut out the shape that you want to use. Even the holes are pre-cut. Now for this particular page, I'm going to actually add this pink insert, and I've pre-cut it. I'm just going to add it right there. Okay, and I'll add something here later. I want to create a place for my title, and so I am going to place it like this and turn this over and trace from the back side. Just use a pen and use my scissors to cut along the curve. That gives me a perfect curve. That's the exact same technique you would use if you're covering the entire piece of chipboard with a piece of paper that has not been pre-cut. So I'll lay that down. Okay. All right, and then I have this little strip of paper, and I want to do a stamp on it. So I'm going to use some stamping ink. It says, "Find joy every day." I'm going to stamp it. And then for this particular layer, I'm going to lay it right down on top. And then I'll turn it over and trim. You can trim with an X-Acto knife or with a good set of scissors. Okay. Now with a mixed media layout, especially when you have acrylic pieces, the fun part is working with acrylic. You want to pre-plan which layers are going to be beneath the acrylic and which layers are going to be on top of the acrylic. So I wanted to show you how I'm going to add stuff on top of this acrylic sheet. So I have these this chipboard title, and I'm actually going to add the chipboard title on the top of the acrylic. When you're doing things on top of the acrylic, you have to remember that when you turn over the acrylic, things are going to show, meaning the back side will show, and you have to decide, am I okay with it showing, or am I not okay with it showing? I'm okay with it showing. And now I'm going to use a clear sticker. Clear stickers are great on clear acrylic pieces because then you're not worrying about adhesive. So I'm going to use this adorable little measuring tape sticker, and then I'm going to trim off the excess. Okay, so standing alone, it doesn't have the border. The border is actually on the next layer. And then when I'm ready to assemble the album, I will punch these holes. All right, let's deal with the next layer. Okay, so the next layer, this particular piece was not pre-die cut. So I laid this acrylic piece on the back side of the paper, traced it, and cut it out. So this is going to go next. Okay, and for this piece, I want to add another layer. Remember, we're working in layers. So I'm going to add this die-cut journaling square to this layer. So there you have that. All right, so I want to add something to this square because it's kind of empty. So I am going to stamp a sentiment on it. Stamping in a light color. And then I would like to add rub-ons to it. So I've cut out this rub-on and I'm going to place it on the edge. And I have this big stick. These rub-ons are also from the Clothesline collection. And I also want to add this little rub-on to it. You can layer rub-ons as long as you press firmly and carefully peel away the covered plastic when you're done. And I always burnish it a little bit with my finger. Okay, so again, when I'm ready to assemble, I will cut an extra piece there. Okay, so now for this particular layer, I wanted to add something fun, so I'm going to add buttons to the acrylic piece. This is on top of the acrylic. And then I have some bigger buttons that I've pre-tied with some twine. So we're going to go right here. Okay, and now remember that the glue dots are going to show on the back, and that's okay, they can show on the back. See, they barely show at all. So there's that layer. Okay, next layer was also not pre-cut, but I did the same technique, I just traced it, so we'll lay that down. And I'm going to leave that layer just the way that it is. But I am going to add on the top acrylic part a strip of cardstock. Now after I put my adhesive on, I want to show you how it shows on the back side. Now you can kind of see the adhesive showing through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a double-sided piece so you cannot see the adhesive, and I just use my pen and cut it out. Adhesive sticking today. It's good adhesive. Okay, and then just lay it down, and that is one trick for covering up the back side of the adhesive. Okay, now I'm going to add my little journaling die cut from the Clothesline collection using glue dots. Alright, and then I'm going to use this flower. And to attach the flower, I'm actually going to use little pop-up squares because I'm going to put pins behind this flower, and the pop-up squares are great because you can stick the pins through the foam. So I'll just take off the covering, put that down, and then you just stick the pins through those adhesive squares and they just stick great. Okay, so there you have it. You have the layers of different things that you can do with acrylic. You can add rub-ons to the acrylic. You can add stickers to the acrylic. You can actually adhere cardstock or paper or whatever you want to do. But this is the basic way that we're going to assemble the album. The rest of the album I will just cover the chipboard pieces, and I will finish my album that way. For more information and more photos, visit www.2peasinabucket.com.